what went wrong with Spider-Man 3? Now, Spider-Man 3, I mean the one that Tobey Maguire starred in. Now, I say this because the first two movies were great. The storyline was great. The characters were great. The villains were fantastic. But in the third one, it completely went off the rails. I mean, yes, in theory, the idea was good to bring three villains in to a storyline. But the villains, well, they didn't really pay off. They didn't have any character depth or anything. They were just there and didn't make any sense. I mean, first of all, let's address the Venom situation. The Venom symbiote came from space and he got attached to Peter and he became Black Spider-Man. That's all good and fine. Just that part. I'll get to that. But then after Peter gets the symbiote off and it just attached to Eddie Brock and becomes a version of Venom that no one really likes. I mean, especially now considering that the Sony Venom movie came out, that Venom looked fantastic, but that's a different storyline. But still, yeah, that version of Venom sucked. It didn't have any character depth at all. I mean, it wasn't a good one. They completely wasted Venom in this movie. And then there's the new Green Goblin. Now Peter's best friend becomes the Green Goblin in this movie after he's confused and thinks that Peter killed his dad. Which has a huge plot hole, by the way, because someone else tells him, who was it? Some guy tells Peter's best friend that he wasn't the one responsible for the death of his father, Norman Osborn. But he could have given that information earlier and avoided the whole thing. And plus, his version of the Green Goblin wasn't all that good. I mean, Harry as the best friend was nice, but as the Green Goblin, no. It didn't make any sense to me, making him the Green Goblin, especially when they have such an iconic character in the first movie. It was very hard to replicate him. I mean, we saw how hard it was to replicate him when he was in Spider-Man No Way Home. He was fantastic in the movie. He was the main antagonist again. That's how great a character William Dafoe was. But yeah, him being the villain didn't make sense. And then there's Sandman. I mean, Sandman, I guess, was an understandable villain. I mean, he's the one responsible for Peter's uncle's death. So it's only fitting that some sort of redemption arc or something comes along for him to be in the movie. But him as Sandman, I mean, personally, I don't like Sandman as a character. It seems like boring and bland to me. It's not like exciting character. And you see Peter dealing with all these things, and yeah, and obviously the worst thing about this movie is Peter. You know, because he gets attached to the black symbiote, he ends up becoming Black Spider-Man, which I arguably think that the suit is pretty cool. I love the suit, but the personality sucks. I mean, it was one thing for him to get more confidence or something because of the symbiote, but his personality seems kind of weird. I mean, it's nothing like Peter we knew. And why did they turn his character into that? That was the worst part of the movie. The main lead was the worst part of the movie. And that's a big thing considering that everyone loved him in the first two movies. It was fantastic. Everyone saw him as Spider-Man. Yeah, it really sucked. Oh yeah, and MJ's in the movie. Yeah, MJ in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe. I don't really care about her. She doesn't seem like a great character in this movie. No really storyline or anything. So she's in the movie as well. And in the climax scene, we see Spider-Man fighting. Spider-Man fighting Venom and Sandman, I think, together. And then Harry joins in to help him. And so basically, it's a 2-on-2 battle, and Harry ends up dying. It again seems like a necessary end to his character. They didn't have to make him like that. They could have given him some other role, an assisting role, maybe some powers or something. They didn't have to kill him off. It wasn't that necessary. It wasn't that much of a deal. Oh yeah, and then there's Aunt May in the movie. She's there. Well, Aunt May is just always there. But yeah, they had a lot of potential to make this a great movie. They could have just made Venom the main villain in the movie. Maybe they could have shown off a different villain in the first, with Black Spider-Man completely beating him with the powers of Venom, and then Venom taking control of him, and he's breaking free, and then Venom attaches to, what was his name, Eddie Brock or something? That guy, the reporter guy, and he becoming a true villain and causing chaos, and Spider-Man finding a way to beat him. They could have done it better. Venom was more than enough as the main villain. I mean, everyone knows Venom from the Spider-Man movies. Sorry, I mean the Spider-Man comics. He was a fantastic villain, and they didn't have to do all this. I don't know what went wrong with this movie. I mean, if all the movies are like this, that would be one thing. But the first two movies were fantastic. They were iconic. I mean, just watching them today, everyone would love it. I honestly think those two movies were better than the first two Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. I mean, those movies are MCU movies, so entertaining, but as far as solo movies concerned, these two are the peak Spider-Man movies, part 1 and 2. And when you look at that, Spider-Man 3 is a complete disaster. I honestly want to just forget about it and pretend like it never happened, and for them to make another Spider-Man 3 movie and do the whole storyline right with Venom. Now, apparently I am hearing rumors that they might do a Amazing Spider-Man 3 with Venom. I'm not sure if that's gonna be happening. Sony doesn't look like they're about to make any more movies. They kind of said that they don't have any future plans, so it's a now. I mean, I would like to see at least that and give the Venom storyline a good ending. I mean, we haven't really seen any of the Venom or Spider-Man storylines in the MCU at all. We saw a teaser of it, Venom showing up in the MCU, but he just goes back. So yeah, well, that's an whole other thing. But this movie, it was a complete mess. They could have made an awesome movie, but I don't know what went wrong. I honestly still can't believe they made a movie like this. I'm still trying to forget this movie and pretend like it doesn't exist. That's probably for the best. The whole storyline ended with Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock redeeming himself and dying. That would have been the perfect end, probably. Now, apparently there are other rumors of Spider-Man 4 showing up with Peter and MJ having a family and what's going on in his life. I mean, in the MCU, when we see Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man meet Tom Holland and his friends, he talks about how life is going and seems to be going well. I mean, I guess he's old enough to have a daughter now. There's a rumor of his daughter becoming the Spider-Woman. I don't know. It would be nice to see that, but there's nothing official yet. But let's wait and hope. And honestly, I want some closure for this saga, because the third one was not the way it ended, this Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.